everyone, it's Paranormal 201. We're talking about how to grow your paranormal adventure. Maybe you're in a group or you just enjoy ghost hunting, and we're talking about growing this adventure. Now, today we're talking about, let's just say you have a group and you're trying to incentivize people to complete 5 investigations, for example. What we do at Your Paranormal is we have a Your Paranormal hat, and when you complete 5 investigations, you get a free hat. And we typically sell these hats for $25 or $30, depending on the person. And the goal is to incentivize people to stay for 5 investigations, get their feet really wet. And let's just say that this costs $25, $30 to make, and you sell them for no profit. Well, when you're doing at least, let's just say, so there's 5 investigations. Let's say there's 2 or 3. Let's say there's 2 big investigations and they go on 3 free investigations. And there's a minimum investigation fee. If you net the $5 experience, let's just say $15. So, and they paid $30 for the other 2, but that's because it covered the actual cost of the investigation. Say you went to Madison Seminary on a weekday, it's $300, you brought 10 people, it's $30 a pop. They pay $30 to Madison Seminary, your group gets $0 profit, but you gave it to them at cost because you're a nice person. But the other 3 were free investigations that you hooked up with your friends, family, or clients. And they were $15 times 3, that's $45. So the $45 really goes into this hat and then the rest for batteries. But it really incentivizes people to stay for the 5 investigations because they get a free hat. Maybe, for example, you get them nice little cards that have a picture of them, ghost hunting or conducting paranormal research, and you can give it to them, and you can even update their status from a paranormal investigator to, for example, a seasoned paranormal investigator. And these are the 3 techniques that we've been using for Your Paranormal, where I'm trying to incentivize people to, okay, ghost hunting is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and you're very important and special to our group, which is called Your Paranormal. So you have the title of paranormal investigator as soon as you conduct a paranormal investigation. Therefore, you are a ghost hunter, you are a paranormal researcher, paranormal investigator. But if you complete 5 investigations, we're going to recognize you as a seasoned paranormal investigator because you've conducted 5 investigations, and in fact you put a ton of hours into it. Let's just say the average investigation ranges from 4 to 8 hours. Let's just say 6. Okay, so if you did 5, that's 30 hours. If you did any evidence review, there's so much on top of that, and there's a monetary commitment. So in this group and in the paranormal field in general, you're investing a ton of hours, money, and overall effort and emotion into this passion project, this wonderful paranormal community, this crazy hobby, the wonderful field that we're in, which is the paranormal field. And I think after 5, at least for us, it could be totally different for you, but that's where we start to recognize people as a seasoned paranormal investigator. Of course, there's levels to this. Arbitrarily, you can assign this to every 5, a season from 5 to 9, and then once you do 10, maybe you're an expert, that. Maybe some groups you might want to assign an expert to 30 or 50 because you're that dedicated. But this is all about incentivizing people to stay in the paranormal community. That's why we have the hats. That's why we have these little ghost hunting cards. That's why we assign titles, because we want them to stay active. We want them to continue to enjoy this field. And sometimes when you do investigation after investigation after investigation, you get bogged down and you can't see the progress. That's why we track every investigation that people go on. Every time they do an investigation, what role did they do? How many times did they do that role? And we send them cards. Hey, thanks for coming to the Perryville battlefield investigation. You were the camera operator. And then let me just take a few seconds here. I got an opportunity to look at the camera footage because you were the camera operator. It was fantastic. You weren't filming your feet. It was great. You stayed on target. You were dedicatedly videotaping that REM pod, and you were doing it at the perfect time because when the REM pod went off, you were there videotaping it, capturing it. Now we have that piece of evidence. You were so crucial to this investigation, and because you captured this evidence as the camera operator, we can now show all of our friends and family all this wonderful evidence that we caught, and it's all thanks to you. I really appreciate it. Hey, this was, by the way, this was your third investigation. I'm really looking forward to your fifth one to give you this free hat. I already know that you've made such a positive impact on this group, and I can't wait to see you shine in this paranormal field. All that was fictitious, but that's the kind of language and that's the kind of incentives you want to use for your group. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have these people, you don't have a group. And if you don't keep incentivizing them and telling them how much they really mean to your group, they might leave. They might get bogged down, and the time commitment is very important. The monetary commitment is very important, and the emotional commitment is very important. And people think that, for example, I spend hours planning an investigation. Hours. And so much stress putting into organizing an investigation. But if I don't stop and remember all the hours and all the stress that they do just to plan to come to this investigation and really enjoy it, that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter how good of an investigation you put on as a leader. It matters how the members feel. It matters what kind of memories you're able to create with them. It matters the caliber of evidence you capture that you could share with your friends and family or the world. That's what matters. But nothing works without the people. And that's what this Paranormal 201 is all about. It's how to really grow your group. You should be making sure that you're incentivizing your members. You should be making sure that they feel special, because they are. So, again, one way we do that, I think last week we talked about medals, but that was just based on the roles that they did. This specifically was for the number of investigations. So people don't get bogged down, geez, really wanted to be camera operator, but I know Jim's never done it, and you picked him to be the camera operator and I was the recorder. Now I don't, now I'm miffed because I didn't get the medal. But now they're still going towards the total number of investigations with the hat, with the titles. So it creates a second, or depending on how many you have, multiple layers of incentives. So they're not just tied to the number of investigations, you've got the role count. And it's not so much tied to the roles that they do, whether they're operating the camera or they're the photographer, but the number of investigations. That's at least 2 sets of layers of investigation, or investigation incentives. That's the crazy cool thing. That's how you grow your group. All right, everyone. I talked your ear off. It's Paranormal 201. Enjoy your Wednesday and have a great week.